not steal anything. There's no such thing as stealing.
Yeah.
I also don't know who Brit Smith is.
Hey everyone, it's Riker. Welcome back to the channel. So Jojo Siwa is done. Finished her career. It had a good start. It started off with her on Dance Moms. That's where we all know her from. She moved that into selling bows for young girls. She did that and did it well. And then she tried to rebrand. We all know about that. But I wanted to get into this because today, as of April 16th, we had Brit Smith drop Karma. And this was her original version. She recorded it from Miley Cyrus. She passed on that. So Brit decided to record it, made a music video for it too, but it went unreleased. And as Jojo Siwa dropped her version of the song and essentially kept the song lyrics the same, tried to modernize the beat. She released that. That's what we all know her for. I'm not gonna get into that. You can look on Twitter if you want a whole timeline. With this song getting dropped, it kind of solidifies that Jojo Siwa is done, and I don't use that lightly. Y'all know me, I don't drop drama drops a lot. It's when it enters my world and I feel like I gotta make a video about it. And the number one thing that got me to this position, that made me say that she's done and that we're not gonna hear from her anymore, is that we don't like entertainers. Jojo Siwa follows the pattern that 6ix9ine went down, where they're an entertainer. They come in, they get themselves, they solidify their place inside an established entertainment field. For us, the most recognized is music. Where 6ix9ine was dropping his music, it seemed like a very weird type of rap, but it's one that was entertaining. People watched it. It wasn't the best ever, but it got people's attention. Having people's attention is where they first start. It's usually a lie, and that gets them sent up in the entertainment industry where they're recognizable. Numbers are going crazy. They have everyone trying to talk to them. They have their music being streamed. Jojo Siwa did the same thing. She dropped Karma. We already knew her from her Dance Moms era, from her bows being like every little girl's role model. We knew her from that. We were pretty neutral to her dropping that. We were open to it. We wanted to hear it out. And when she did, she dropped a terrible song. Like, not even to sugarcoat it or make a joke, that song is bad. You can hear the original by Brit Smith, so much better. But the production team that she had, they went back, tried to modernize the song, and it just didn't work out. It was terrible. She then doubled down. This was when she first started to make her switch. She had ditched like the bows. She was getting the temporary tattoos. She was talking in, I think that was her normal voice, but maybe a deeper version. And she's playing on this I'm a lesbian character. She's doing interviews. She's saying crazy things. She's opening up about like her personal life, her relationships, and she cheated on all of her partners. She's getting into like this weird Jojo Siwa. We haven't seen her before. We're thinking she's hyping up this brand new reveal. People are watching. It's entertaining. It's something we haven't seen before. It's getting the numbers up. Everyone's talking about it. She accomplished that. Most people, we were listening, we were watching because we hated her. We didn't want her to do good, or we were like, what the is she doing? I don't know this Jojo Siwa. It's gonna be stupid and goofy the way she's talking about it. So we came in on a hate train too. That was a big part of why she was so successful. Then she dropped Karma. Absolutely terrible song with a music video that really doesn't make sense today. Maybe back then with a bit more like of seriousness, it could have been an acceptable music video, but watching it, I haven't watched it. I've watched clips of it, someone reacting to it. It just looked like an overproduced mess where she's trying to dance and choreograph, and she seems like a Kiss reject, like straight up. Like, that's her costume, that's her style. She's doing interviews and she's speaking about people who come before her like she's doing something revolutionary. She's not. People were hating her because of that. That was the hate train. Having her drop the music, having her go on this whole TikTok, hey, this is my new character. That's when she's holding like the Ghost energy drink. And then she gets her Lamborghini wrapped in her face. So she's a narcissist. I'm gonna get into that. But she drops her new Lamborghini wrap, and she's just has everyone in a chokehold for like a week. This is on TikTok, this is on Twitter, people are reacting to it on YouTube. She has people's interest. Where she lost it was the fact that she didn't come in seriously. When you're famous, you have like these tokens. That's just the analogy I'm gonna use. You have your tokens. She had her tokens from Dance Moms. She had her tokens from being like little girls' role models. We knew who she was. And I said this in the beginning, we're open to her come in. We were like, okay, I'm curious to see where she's gonna go. Some of us were hating like, oh my God, this is gonna be bad. But others were like, I wonder what's gonna happen. As soon as we got the drop, she had everyone reacting to it. This was a big thing on YouTube, every social media. There was one part, this was her TikTok, and she says, you may hate the song. She's in her car too. She says, you hate the song, but what's been in your head for the last 3 days? That rubbed me the wrong way. And I feel like that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because when you're an entertainer, you can't come in like, I'm a genius and you guys are my guinea pigs. That's absolutely not what you do, because people are gonna be against it. You're gonna be like me. You're gonna be rubbed the wrong way. You're not gonna like it. You're gonna feel like, oh, you think you're better than us when you drop this song, like, be so for real right now. And of course she's poking us, she's trying to get a reaction out of us, but what she doesn't understand is that having people support you way better than having all the attention and having people hate you. So automatically we were against her. This is when all her drama with XOMG Pop came out or resurfaced, and this is when all her like friends with Colleen Ballinger and James Charles and one other, Shane Dawson, like all the weird people we have designated as predators. We have said they are bad people, we're not gonna associate with them. She stuck by them. That's what friends do, you had that choice. And then she defended them. That's where people were drawing the line and saying, no, you're wrong. And for me, I looked at it like, if she's surrounding herself by all these people who are older than her, people who are narcissists, people who are predatory, they're abusers too, whether sexually, physically, or mentally. Like, they have abused their own audience or people who are younger than them in a like more vulnerable position than them. So automatically I saw that and I was thinking, that's what she is. She's an abuser, she's a predator. Like, she aligns with those people and sticks by them because those are the type of people that she recognizes herself in. I didn't say nothing about it, I didn't tweet out about it, I didn't put it in no comment section. That was just my thought. And it's like, if you hang around with a bunch of athletes, that's what you do. You're an athlete, you play sports, you enjoy it, you love to talk about it. For me, that's Formula One. I can start a conversation with someone and talk for a minute because we both like racing. But for her, she's with those predators and those, some of them are just straight files. She's with those abusers because that's who she recognizes herself with. I don't know if she is the one who is now in a situation to be the abuser. I don't know if she was abused. Being on Dance Moms, that was definitely mental abuse. What's worse is on her reality TV show, she exemplifies the exact people who did that to her. I'm not gonna say she is a sexual abuse victim, but I'm gonna say that she is on that track where she cheated on her previous girlfriends. I think there were two and she cheated on both with each other. That just is like a first step in the narcissist abuse line. You can see it with all the celebrities. They start off with something small and then like they start building it up. So automatically she had all this hate and all this evidence like behind a wall, and that wall just opened up as soon as she dropped the song and got big on TikTok. So people were against her. People were preying on her downfall, and it was justified. That's the worst part too. It was justified. People were being like, oh, didn't you do this? Didn't you say that? Aren't you in this place with these people? And she was. They were right. And just to tag back like on a point I made about her rebrand, it's just ugly. Like, you look at it, it is not appealing. It looks like a Kiss reject. The music video is bad. The music itself is bad. It's like ugly and people don't like that style. You can take someone like Doja Cat and be like, oh, she has an ugly style. It's not appealing, it's not meant to be appealing, but she had her hot pink style and that justified it. You could look at hot pink and be like, oh, that's how she gained her audience, that's how she sustained it, and then she could have the opportunity to turn into this ugly style, and that's her thing. She has that choice now, but she has talent to back it up too. You can look at her and her attractive, that's when she was doing her makeup, had the outfits, had the production, and then you can look at her like era now. For me, it was like Scarlet. The whole album was pretty bad except for Agora Hills, and that was her going back to her rap era, but it was like pretty ugly. It was bad. It wasn't trying to be pop or presentable or look nice or have like a pretty good presentation, but she had that choice. She dropped Hot Pink, she dropped Kiss Me More, like pretty presentable, like okay stuff. So she had that option. Jojo Siwa though, hasn't. All her stuff, just kid stuff, like pretty girly and stuff. But then for her rebrand, it went straight to ugly. And Miley Cyrus is one of her role models. She looks up to her. She was like equating her switch to Miley's switch, which are two completely different things. Miley at least took it seriously. She was doing it, I swear to God, for jokes. But you can see with Miley's switch, it was ugly, and her now, she's still on this like ugly style. And that's definitely a style. Travis Scott, he has it, but you expect that from him. And that's what you tune into. And when he needs to, he can look very presentable. But for people like Miley Cyrus, you go down this ugly styling choice and you're stuck with it. You don't change it. She's got the random tattoos. Her hair is always a mess. And she's just a hoe. Like, everything she says and how she acts and how she dresses like a hoe. You can express yourself that way, but people are not gonna market you that way. Like for Wrecking Ball, I hate that video. I haven't like watched it in a minute, and it's not like it's a bad video, but for me it's so unnecessary. I was in my advertising class and my teacher showed me the director's cut, which is like the original. Miley Cyrus is an actress, really talented. She can cry on demand. That's the whole video. It's a close-up of her with the whole production, the styling, and the kind of like the same colors of the music video, but Jesus Christ, someone opened up the stairs. That scared the f out of me. Let's give it a second. Where it's the same colors, the same, I'm pretty sure the same camera, the same lighting, the same environment as one of the scenes in Wrecking Ball, but it looks good. It's just a close-up of her face. You should watch it, it's amazing. She's singing the whole song, word for word, bar for bar, and she cries on command as the song continues, and that kind of shows you that she's emotionally attached to that song. It's a story that means a lot to her, and it's very emotional, and she expresses that. That was good. And then to get people's attention, she dropped the Wrecking Ball music video, where she's just naked on a wrecking ball, licking his and all the slut shit. You can see that and see where she is now, where she dropped Flowers. Somehow that got that song of the year. I don't know how the fuck that works, but okay, Grammys. And her acceptance speech was saying that she doesn't have panties on. That's just out of pocket. And even the song itself is just very bad and very... Honestly, I hated that. That was like the worst song of the year and somehow won Song of the Year. Her whole presentation now is just... We know Miley Cyrus because... Oh my god. Even at like the VMA's performance where she was just like throwing it back on Robin Thicke. Like some random stuff that gets your attention but doesn't have much substance behind it. Jojo Siwa's going down that route. Where Miley Cyrus now, we tolerate her because... she was Hannah Montana, because she was, I'm gonna say like bangers, Miley Cyrus, that was acceptable, but now she's like just doing whatever, saying whatever. Her whole family's having crazy drama, and it's just like a very ugly styling that she's stuck with, and people don't like ugly. People don't like to look at it. It's fine to look at it every once in a while, but people don't want to stay in it. And now she doesn't have like any possibility to come back. That's what she's stuck with. She has all her money. She can live the rest of her life in comfort, but she's never gonna have that attention or positive amount of fans left. 6ix9ine, same thing. Where after he snitched, he goes MIA and he has all his cars and all his chains, but no one respects him anymore. And for Jojo Siwa, she's going down that rabbit hole. She's going down that route. She is going down this ugly styling, and it's supported by a hate train, and it's not stuff that sustains longevity. Like, would you unironically, completely seriously listen to Karma by her? I would never listen to that, like unironically. I haven't even watched like the full music video. Again, the only video part I've seen was a reaction to it. The snippets of the song that I have heard, it's just bad and I wouldn't listen to it. She's going down this rabbit hole where she used both of her tokens, her fame tokens, her dance moms, her being an idol for young girls. She took both of those tokens and put them in the slot machine just to be this Jojo Siwa. I'm gonna say the Karma Jojo Siwa. She put all her investment, all of her like her attention. Like we knew Jojo Siwa existed and we were open to her coming back. She took that trust and that openness and that neutrality and said, F you, I'm gonna do this crazy shit and you're gonna be like a guinea pig. Again, she said like basically, you're my guinea pig. I'm smarter than you. Look what I made you do. People don't like that. People don't trust that. People aren't gonna stick around for that. You can only trick the world once. It was like that one dude who was like a meat eater or body fitness guy who like did steroids and stuff. And for his like last video, he was like, this whole channel was a social experiment. After I'm pretty sure he lied to the audience, tricked people, and was all around a negative person. You can make that claim that this is just the social experiment, but that's a cop-out. People know that you're a bad person making bad content. And now that everyone is against you and you have no true fans, that's your excuse? Like, congratulations, you could ride off with your money, but as soon as that runs out, which I'm pretty sure all of these guys run out of money. You look at Miley Cyrus, I don't know what financial situation she's at, but all her family is just against each other. They're fighting, they're dating each other's exes, and there's a whole civil war. Her family's basically split in half. You look at 6ix9ine, no one in the industry will trust him again, whether it's to feature him on a song or just collaborate with him at all. He's not gonna get on a podcast. No one's gonna look at his opinion as something to be serious. No one's gonna listen to him. He's just gonna be the dude on Instagram who makes stories claiming crazy shit. That's all he's ever gonna be now. He has his chains, he has his cars, but just like Jojo Siwa, where you have all this money that you got from people's attention and you're blowing it on stupid shit. She got her Lamborghini and she wrapped it in her face, so automatically if she tried to sell it like that, devalued. For 6ix9ine, he brought a bunch of SVJs and he just has a bunch of like cars in crazy colors. That depreciates the value. Like, they're not the ones to make smart financial decisions. No one is gonna get a car that they have for sale and it's gonna appreciate. They're gonna lose money if they sell the car because they're gonna have to fix the car up and then try to sell it, and they buy their chains. I don't know if JoJo's was real, but I know 6ix9ine's probably has some real ones, some real like rings and just like grills, like all this like rapper stuff, but that's gonna depreciate in value. Like he's spending all his money to look like a rapper instead of longevity being a rapper. He's not dropping any more music. Like he is what, in Dubai or whatever, like he's done. He's done. He's not making any more money. All the money he has now is the money he's gonna have for the rest of his life. But Jojo Siwa, she's gonna go down that rabbit hole. She's gonna go down that path where she took all of the public's trust, threw it out the window. You don't get that back, ever. You don't ever get that back. She threw it out the window, and now, oh, this was what point that I wanted to make. She's not gonna have any longevity, and she doesn't have people who can help her get that. She said in her interview, her mom is like her manager, and she can't have conversations with her mom. And she pays for everything that her family buys. Their housing, their clothes, their food, their cars. She supplies that. They're yes men to her. They're not her family. They're not gonna guide her. They're gonna say, yep, whatever you want, as long as they're getting rent paid. That was the point that another YouTuber made, and it was a really good one because look at the music video. It's bad, it's terrible. And then someone on her team said, yep, this is a good video, we should release it. She's gonna be surrounded by those people who she can't trust and who don't have her best interests at heart, who will just agree with her so they can get their money. You're not gonna say no to the person who pays your rent. That was the exact quote the YouTuber said. That's her situation right now. She's surrounded by people who are her family, who are just gonna say yes to whatever she says. Her friends who are terrible influencers, terrible influences, who are older than her, who are the first people to abuse her. And her association means other people don't mess with her. And then finally, her audience are just people who hate her, people who watch her downfall. She made a big public showing that I'm no longer for kids. I'm 18 plus. You guys are gonna have to like stop watching me if you're a child. She lost her core audience, people who wanted to support her, who would follow her content, who would make her money. She lost all of them to not even be a full adult entertainer. And I hate that word, like entertainer. It's like I don't have talent, but I still get people's attention. For me, that's just trashy, and that's her content now. She's an entertainer, but she's not for kids anymore, but she's not for adults. And her song, she only sweared in the chorus. She said karma's a bitch, but any other part of the song, she said, I wish I never effed around. That's exactly what she said. She didn't say f around. She didn't say around or any like synonym that you can switch out. She said effing around. So she's not for adults, obviously, since she can't fully commit to swearing, but she's not for kids anymore. You abandon both audiences who would tune in to watch you. She's done. She's not making anything else. I think the next time we're gonna see her is when she says she's out of money and her family are just contributing to her downfall, and she lost her contract with Nickelodeon. Even when she was working under Nickelodeon, when she first came out, this was another thing the YouTuber covered. They said like, you're gonna have to call all of our partners and explain that you're coming out. And she was like, I don't understand. This is like a me personal choice. And of course her family says, oh yeah, be you, support you. And no one really explained to her that, hey, if Walmart just suddenly says we don't wanna support your like coming out, we don't wanna support the Pride community, then you lost your supplier. You lost a big supplier that housed a lot of your products that people were paying for, that you got a commission off of. Even looking back, like the YouTuber covered that her toys aren't for kids. They're just inappropriate. She's really done. I don't think she's ever gonna come back except to say that she ran out of money. And people were preying on her downfall. Today, when Brit Smith dropped Karma, she solidified Jojo Siwa's downfall. There's not gonna be anything coming back from Jojo. She's gonna cry on camera, or she's not even gonna try to sue because Brit Smith has the rights to her version of the song. And that song is already topping the charts. I checked Billboard, but it's not on the Billboard Hot 100. It is topping the charts, I think, in the iTunes store. People are listening to that song because it's a better song, and that's the whole reason I made this video right here. That's like what I'm interested in. I love music, and that one's a good song. It's like take 2010s pop and make a song about it. Like that's literally what it is. I love that song, and when it released, I was like, oh my God, I'm listening to this. Immediately, I turned it on when I was in the student center. Not the student center. That is the student center, yeah. I turned it on in the student center when I was seeing at Chick-fil-A. Like, that's a good song. That's what I'm gonna listen to. I don't even care what Jojo Siwa dropped. I have never heard the full song. I've only heard snippets, and the snippets that I have heard are terrible. Someone explained it. This was on TikTok. They said like, she wanted to take that sound that Brit Smith had, try to modernize it. But Jojo Siwa can't sing. She's recorded herself not being able to sing. And just, I'm gonna throw in a little petty. Her voice is annoying. Like, I hate it. It's just raspy. And not in a cute way. It's just like, it's like taking a fork and plate and just scratching it. That's her voice. She can't sing. She tried to sing a Traitor. And if you can't sing Traitor, a hard song, but if you can't even make that sound good, you have no business making music. And she thought she could make music. So Jojo Siwa's done. She's finished. She is gonna like just fade into obscurity. Any money she does have, she's gonna waste it on her family because they enable her and no one's gonna tell her no. She's not gonna be able to have real relationships because, again, she cheated on both of her exes, so she's the one who's the problem. I made this a note, and this is something that I have a personal fear towards, like peaking. We always make the joke like, oh yeah, that dude peaked in high school, or, you know, you peaked too early or something. And that's my personal fear. I don't want to peak too early, but she did. She's what, 19, 20? She's a year or two older than me. And if this is the peak that you've had, then like it's over. She didn't even get a chance to fully discover who she was, and she's not going to get another chance to show who she is. She lost the public's trust. She's done now. Her peak would have been on Dance Moms, where she was getting like verbally abused by her coach, by her teacher, and she can bullshit and be like, oh, she just wanted us to do the best and she just wanted us to do better. But if the clips of you crying are the peak of your life, then you fucked up your entire life. You're not getting another chance. She's not getting another public reaction or public support or even neutrality from the public. She's gonna get hatred and I wanna stay away from her and negativity. That's what she's stuck with. That's something that I wanna avoid. Well, okay, I don't wanna peak at like 19 or 20, but I also don't want to make the mistakes that she have. And they're so obvious mistakes that I feel like I don't even like worry about making them. And I don't feel like you have to worry about making them either, like as a viewer. But if you guys are gonna take anything from this video, it's that karma's a bitch.
She's with you right